job and ask the real questions. Well, I am telling you now, and I hope this goes out, you have failed.
Best placed to lead us into the next general election.
Keir Starmer stood in front of the British public and made 3 promises. He would smash the gangs, he would protect pensioners, he would deliver honest government after 14 years of Conservative failure. He has broken all 3, not partially, not under difficult circumstances, completely, with documentation, with a paper trail.
You know what I really feel though at the moment is the country feels so volatile and so divided at the moment in a way that I actually don't recall for the entire, I'm 49, I don't remember the country feeling like this. What are you going to do to change it?
I think this is the defining issue in politics at the moment. I think it's less left-right in politics.
Yeah.
It's between those that want to pull people together.
With the kind of evidence that Douglas Murray has been laying out in front of anyone willing to sit still long enough to look at it. Murray is not asking you to trust him. He is asking you to trust the numbers, the official figures, the government's own data, the polling that shows 75% of the British public now view Starmer unfavourably, a collapse in trust so total it has only ever been matched by a Prime Minister who lasted 45 days in office. Mainstream journalists see all of this. Every number in this video is publicly available. None of it is hidden. And yet, the question Murray keeps asking, the one that never gets a straight answer on a BBC panel or in a government press conference, is why. Why are boats still coming when Starmer promised to smash the gangs? Why are victims still waiting when Starmer had every reason to act faster than anyone? Why does a Prime Minister with a landslide majority govern as though accountability is something that happens to other people? The answer is not comfortable, and that is precisely why you are not hearing it anywhere else. Subscribe now, because by the end of this video, you will not be able to unsee what Murray has been pointing at, and you will understand, finally, exactly what is being kept from you. Let's start with the words Starmer himself chose, not words put in his mouth, not a journalist's interpretation, his exact language delivered to the British public as a governing commitment. He would smash the gangs, not reduce, not manage, not set up a working group. Smash. Since the general election, just under 35,000 small boat migrants have arrived on British shores. In the period tracked by The Spectator, crossings were running 25% higher than the same period the previous year. The gangs are not smashed. They are thriving. They are taking money from desperate people, loading them onto vessels that are not fit for the channel, and delivering them to the British coast where the state greets them, houses them, and begins a legal process that ends, in the overwhelming majority of cases, in permanent settlement. Douglas Murray's argument, and it is a hard one to dismiss, is not that immigration is inherently wrong. It is that Starmer made a specific, unambiguous promise, knew when he made it that delivering it would require policy choices he had no intention of making, and made it anyway, because it was what the electorate needed to hear to hand him power. YouGov polling shows the proportion of Britons who consider immigration and asylum one of the most important issues facing the country has risen from 41% before the election to 48% since. 7 in 10 voters believe immigration has been too high over the last decade. 67% of people hold a negative view of the government's immigration policies. The British public did not change their minds about what they wanted. They were simply told they would get it, and then weren't. This is the part of Murray's argument that the political establishment finds hardest to sit with, because it touches the most painful failure in modern British public life. For years, in Rotherham, in Rochdale, in Telford, in Oxford, in town after town across the north of England, networks of men systematically raped and trafficked children, overwhelmingly working-class girls, some as young as 11. The J Report, a 7-year inquiry under the previous Conservative government, laid it bare. The evidence is not in dispute. Police knew. Social services knew. In documented cases, girls who sought help were ignored, disbelieved, or turned away while their abusers walked free. The reason given internally, in reports and in testimony, was fear. Fear of being accused of racism for investigating men whose ethnicity investigators were conscious of. Starmer himself was head of the Crown Prosecution Service in 2009 when a decision was made not to prosecute an individual who was part of the Rochdale child sex abuse ring. There is no evidence he was personally involved in that specific decision, but he led the institution. And when he became Prime Minister, the families of victims and much of the public expected him to come to this issue with a particular urgency. Instead, in October 2024, his safeguarding minister Jess Phillips rejected Oldham Council's request for an independent national inquiry into local child sexual exploitation, favouring a locally run inquiry instead. Murray's case is not that Starmer personally covered anything up. His case is sharper and in some ways more damning than that. It is that a Prime Minister with direct institutional history at the CPS, leading a government elected partly on the promise of genuine accountability, chose the path of managed process over the path of honest reckoning. And in doing so, left thousands of victims still waiting for the full national inquiry they have been demanding for years. When Starmer called critics spreading lies and misinformation and accused them of appealing to the far right, Murray's response was blunt. Labelling everyone who asks questions about this scandal as far right is itself a form of concealment. It is the same institutional reflex, protecting reputation over protecting children, that allowed this to happen in the first place. Here is a promise that requires no complex analysis of intelligence failures or legal frameworks. It is brutally straightforward. Starmer's government cut the winter fuel payment, a benefit paid to pensioners to help cover heating costs, from the overwhelming majority of recipients, limiting it only to those on pension credit. YouGov reported 70% of people were against the decision. It was described by Statista as by far the least popular early policy from the government. The government later partially reversed it. But as Statista noted, the damage had already been done. The people who lost this payment were not wealthy. They were the people Starmer spent his entire opposition career claiming to represent. The dinner ladies who worked 40 years, the retired bus drivers, the widows in semi-detached houses in towns that voted Labour for generations. Murray frames this not as a policy disagreement, but as a values exposure, the first test of Starmer's stated commitments, and he failed it within months of taking office, hitting the most financially vulnerable elderly people in the country. Here is where the abstract becomes concrete. Because whatever you think of Murray, whatever you think of Starmer, the polling data on what the British public actually thinks is not something either side can argue away. By January 2026, YouGov found 75% of people had an unfavourable opinion of Starmer, a net favourability rating of -57, only matched in modern British political history by Liz Truss, who lasted 45 days in office. By September 2025, just 14% of people approved of the government's record, while 69% disapproved. Roughly two-thirds of people believed the Labour Party was out of touch, unclear on what it stood for, weak and untrustworthy. 77% of people did not trust Labour to keep its promises or help with the cost of living. At the May 2026 local elections, Labour lost control of 35 councils and nearly 1,500 councillors, roughly 60% of the seats they were defending. The BBC's projected national vote share put Labour at just 17%. They won the 2024 general election with 33.7%. In less than 2 years, Ipsos ranked Starmer's approval ratings after 14 months as the lowest of any Prime Minister in the past 50 years. That is not a rough patch. That is a collapse of trust on a historic scale. The first More in Common MRP of 2026 projected Reform UK winning 381 seats, a majority of 112, more than all other parties combined, with Labour falling to just 85 seats, a loss of 326 from the last election. Douglas Murray's core argument is not a party political one. He is not a Conservative loyalist defending a previous government that failed on many of these same fronts for 14 years. His argument is institutional. It is about what happens to a democracy when the gap between what politicians say and what they do becomes so large, so consistent, and so openly documented that ordinary people simply stop believing any of it. As Murray has written, the British people are not asking for perfection. They are asking for honesty. They want crimes reported to be crimes investigated. They want promises made to be promises kept. They want children who were failed by institutions to receive a reckoning from those same institutions, rather than another managed inquiry designed to absorb the anger without producing accountability. When people who feel systematically lied to by every institution they once trusted begin to make choices those institutions can no longer predict or control, that, Murray argues, is what a real democratic crisis looks like. The polling data above tells you how many people already feel that way. The question, the one no government spokesperson will answer directly, is what happens when that number keeps growing. Murray has been asking it for years. Britain is still waiting for an honest answer.